Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Satisfactory. We're sitting up on top of this hill where we've kind of been just using it as a little bit of a lookout because I kind of think we're pretty well done for the most part with where I want to be with this area for now. So I did in between episodes do a little bit of fiddling around with both the fuel processing plant over here and our new power plant that's down here. So let's take a little bit of a look at it. So I am going to say right now it's not finished. We're still about 108 generators short. And I'm going to put most of those, I think, right around in this little flat area. This is ending up being not nearly as big as I expected it to be, which is a good thing because I kind of want to have another processing facility like right out here. And I didn't want to cover that area up with the generators. So I did do a little bit of fiddling and fooling around with this because once everything got started, well, at least once half this got started, we started having some flow issues. So if we look right there on all of those, there are some valves that are limited to, I forget, a little bit more than what the actual refinery underneath of them needs to be, because I was noticing that we were not getting any flow in the outside pipes. And again, this is Satisfactory and fluids. It's just not the greatest thing. It's one of those things that I wish they'd have just left most of the stuff in actual canisters because it actually works a little better. And if you are seeing that you're having problems with fluids, put things in canisters and then import and export and do things and stuff like that. You'll find it's a little bit easier, at least it works. So even on the problem of the things falling down, we were still having a problem. So I think I think I got them all fixed, but I did do some decorating. It now has some glass foundations around the outside edges. We do have a little bit of pillar structuring. I was not intending to make that thing very pretty. I just wanted to make it look like it was just a factory sticking up out of the air for right now, because this is one of those places, once it's up and running and everything's good to go, I think the only thing we may ever do is come back and maybe take a little bit of that stuff right there, the polymer resin, and turn it into something usable. But let's go look at the other monster that's on the other side over here, or at least part of the monster. This is, and I promise, part of it. We can phase out a little bit here. That's 188 fuel generators hooked up with the lines with most of the stuff. Yes, I did go and paint all the pipes, or at least customize all of the pipes, so all of the pipes are now matching for colors. I mean, the fuel, I didn't quite like I mean, I was going to leave it the regular orange color, but that's a kind of a problem, so you just kind of leave them alone. We still have this entire bank right here available to us to do some things. That entire bank can run 108 fuel generators. So the back side, the little short side over there we had, is running 80 of the ones that are back there. And then this second row of refineries here, the second row and the one in the middle, is running everything else. So all said and done, we have, 150 times 188, which is roughly 30,000 megawatts per the minute that we have right now. So let's jump on down real quick. I did do some fine tuning and some decorating. It's gonna get a little loud, but we'll check on it for just a second, just so we can now see. We are running a nice almost 40,000 given all the stuff that we've currently got. So I know it's a little loud. I had to walk away from it. So this tank, this fluid buffer, is going to dump down underneath, go around the back of this hill, and then I'm going to, like another one of those in-between episodes as we need it, we're going to go back over there and just blow all that little flat area out, and I'll do something kind of like here. So I did go ahead and extend the bridge for the piping, just so that the piping has a kind of a nice little bridge that goes all the way around it. The platform is as decorated as I feel I want it to be. We just have frame foundations that go around the outside edges. I didn't bother fooling around on the inside, and to be totally fair, I might just do like some walls, or can I remember what to push? I might do something like, this down to the ground just to kind of hide it a little bit better, so that it kind of has like a platform. But that's another one of those later on down the road when I get really bored and I have nothing to do, or we're waiting on something to process. We'll do that. So let's see. The other thing I did want to do, and I should have done it while we were playing around with this thing prior, is that I did end up having to come down here, and I knew it was gonna come. I knew it was gonna happen. I hate to say it, I knew it was gonna happen, and I shouldn't have been lazy. But the splitter, smart splitter thing that we did over here was not working the way that I wanted it to work. I guess we can leave that on. So what I did is I went back actually and merged that top belt back over at the actual facility over there for the compacted coal. I went and merged it back over there. So we have a 300, 300, and a 360 or a 460 line, I believe. So what we're doing is we're belt balancing all of those together so that they're all equal, and that's basically done just by splitting them and then running them through, splitting them and then making an ungodly mess like this that then say takes the top line. So that top line goes to the middle, to the top and the bottom, and they all just kind of do the exact same thing. That way they're all balanced, they're all equal, that basically when it comes out of here, they should all be of equal amounts. I know that's a little overkill, but that way if one needs a little bit more than the other, we can manage to make that happen. This is ugly. I am sorry. It was just one of those, I needed to get it functional, and it's now functional and working. So I think with all that said, I think the only really oddball problem that I had, again, is just the fluids. We had to put a few pipes or pumps in. So let me go down here real quick. It's nice and loud out here. I did have to put a few pumps in to make sure that things were getting down to the end of the line in a timely manner. So pressure is another part of the fluids that is kind of an annoying thing. So you kind of have to fool around with the pressure, and you need to make sure that certain things exist. Even though we should have a technical pressure of 10 foundations behind us, or 10 meters behind us, technically there's that pressure behind us. It doesn't necessarily always translate into how things work, especially when you go up a level. So that means it's going to prioritize this line here over that line, because that one's going up, 4 meters. Even though the pressure is technically here, this system wanted to prioritize this line over that line. So if you equalize the pressure, or you pump evenly, then it counts as 20, whatever the 20 foundation, 20 meter limit is right here between these two. It doesn't really matter where you put them, as long as they're where they need to be. Now, we had a little bit of an excess over here on this side coming out of this one that is being shunted into this network to keep the one way back over there in the corner working. But for the most part, it's functional. It's doing what I want to do. We do have a little bit of, like I said, there's some of it that's not quite all on, but for the most part, everything should be functional. Everything should be running. I stress tested and fooled around and played with it while I built all the pretty underneath of everything. So we should, I love the sound of this. It's so awesome. It's just, it's quiet over here because these aren't running, but this is just the kind of factories that we kind of like to make. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go hop on a train. We're going to go back to base. We're going to go unlock something. And then we're going to start playing with something that we really need to get into. So I will see you guys over at the base. Man, it has been a long time since I have been back in base for any amount of time to do any kind of anything. We've been busy over there for quite a long time. And as soon as we do a little bit of unlocking of some other stuff, we're going to do even more big builds like what we just got done doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of you so that you're out of the way. We don't need to worry about you. And we need to go downstairs. We need to do something. We need to go see what it's going to take to unlock the next massive chunk of technology, because we haven't fooled at all with tier 7 and tier 8. We need to start excuse me, we need to start looking at this technology. And we need to look at this technology because, for one, this technology is going to allow us to change a couple of the processes up, and it's going to get us another monster machine. It's the last big one, I should say. It's pretty much the last big machine that we currently will have access to, next to, well, I should say that, last big one. This dude is huge, and so are some of the other things, but it's going to be one of the things that we're going to do as far as a machine that we're going to need to use. Aluminum knocks this game on its head. When you get to this point, aluminum absolutely knocks this game on its head because it allows you to do some serious, and I mean serious, movement of materials. So since we're in base, we can put our boots back on. And oh, by the way, today is the day that they released the experimental version of update 6, so we will be watching that mess with a keen eye because I'm not going to bother moving to it. I'm not even going to think about moving to it until, well, until it's reasonably stable and/or had a few many updates to it, because I've already watched a couple of things. Plus, the 2 mods that we're currently using, well, 3 mods, excuse me, we'll have to wait until those are updated. That's the only problem about playing modded, and I'm not going to bring this save into that game yet until, well, I'm not going to do it yet, not until I know it's not going to explode. So let's unlock aluminum. So we need 50 of those and 500 rubber. So 1, 2, 3 and a half. Give me that. That should be there, I think, right? Where did all of that go? Whatever, just give me another one, thank you. And 200 motors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the heavy modular frames. We need 2 stacks of those, please. Sort, awesome. Let's go back upstairs and unlock aluminum. I cannot wait for something that is going to be part of this thing. So click, 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 and go. A long time since we've seen him leave.
Quartz and bauxite scanning unlocked. A new generation of basic aluminum parts is now available, which can be constructed from bauxite after a complex process of refinement. The blender will be used in future processes.
Yes, it will. Now, the thing about the blender is it's kind of expensive. And it's kind of one of the things that I really don't like because it's kind of expensive. We don't have access to 2 of those parts, and we won't have access to either 2 of those parts until we do a whole lot of work building other things. I don't even think we have access to the radio control unit right now. No, so I have to do a little bit. Well, no, I think we can make it now, right? Right. Hit N. Radio control unit. Okay. Yeah, which means we need to do aluminum, which aluminum is going to be a few things. Now, what we're going to try to do today is we're going to do a little bit of goofing around with the aluminum. Now, I want to kind of talk about this because it is a royal pain to mess with if you are trying to use the stock vanilla recipes, as I would call vanilla, meaning non-alternate. Well, that was nice. I lost the recording for a little bit there. Let's kind of look at this mess that we just unlocked, which is basically what I'm going to call bone stock vanilla processing plan production line for aluminum. And it starts with a refinery. So we're actually going to need a couple of refineries to do this. So we'll put 2 of them down so we can kind of look at this. What you got to do with aluminum, or at least the bauxite ore, is you're going to take bauxite ore in a refinery with 120 bauxite is going to turn into 120 aluminum solution with 180 water, which will get you 120 aluminum solution, alumina solution, and 50 silica. Now right here, I believe, if I'm not correct, I'll have to look at it later on, is a spot where we're going to be doing a little bit of alternate recipe work. So, but anyhow, just so you know, this is what it's going to do. So water, bauxite ore, alumina solution, and silica. In this one, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to take that aluminum solution and you're going to process it with a little bit of coal to turn it into aluminum scrap. So we're going to kind of add a little bit of stuff here. Plus, you're going to get some of your water back. So this is one of those points where you can kind of, well, you can do something kind of like this, right? We can take this and turn this around and do, you know, something along this line. Right now, I don't want you. I want the Alt key so I can scroll into my piping. And we can do something like this. this, and then you can kind of add a thing here to do kind of something like this. And give me this. Thank you. And I think we can still build a where is it? Valve. And this is going to be one of those places where you're going to want to use a valve, because basically we're going to feed back in right here 120 of the water into this one, which means I need to add, say, what was the number? 180. So I have to add just 60. Thank you, ma'am. Can I have that button, please? Delete it. So you just stuff a little bit of water into the system, and the thing will slowly recycle it eventually until this pipe fills up and you do what you need to do. So this is one of those times where you're going to be, again, playing with fluids that can cause issues. And the reason why we're going to kind of do a little bit of goofy when we do this thing is that I'm going to build these on top of each other. This one is going to live on top of this refinery so that the gravity forces it back down and will overcome the pressure that this pipe is bringing in. So there'll be like a well, it's going to be kind of stood up in the air, kind of that direction, whatever. But we'll be able to kind of control the way the fluids work between these two refineries. This is going to be kind of an annoying thing because of the fact that this one is going to produce, I thought I set this up, this one is going to be kind of annoying because it requires coal. This one is going to off-put silica, and it's not going to be enough to do the next step. So we're going to need to take the aluminum scrap, which is now going to be processed, I believe, in a production foundry. And we can take aluminum scrap and turn it into aluminum ingots with some silica. Now notice right there, we're going to need 25 more silica per minute in order to be able to make this function. And we're stuck in the middle of an autosave, but that's okay. We can talk about it. This is one of the points where you can really, really change the way this process works. And I think there's actually one in that one as well. This can be removed completely with an alternate recipe. You don't get as much aluminum ingots, but you remove this. And this is going to be the one we're going to go look for, because trying to deal with hauling silica to wherever we need to haul silica to is really, 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 really annoying. Even I know there's some down here right here, but as you notice, that number is not enough. It's 50 versus the 75 that we're going to get over here. So especially considering that base, the aluminum that we're going to supply base here is going to come from up on top of that mountain. All I want to do is bring coal and copper to wherever we build this mess, and we'll go from there. But just so you know what it looks like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the aluminum ingots then, and there's going to be two processes that we're going to need to mess with. I believe one is a constructor, and one is an assembler. Why do I not have enough wire? I guess we can just delete you. We don't need you. One is an assembler. Assembler. How do I not have enough wire? Where is all of my wire? Probably because I did that whole thing. Let's just go ahead and delete this. It's fine. We can I'm gonna have to sit down and do a bunch of work. We need to go check on the ma'am and hope that the ma'am actually gave us the thing that we want. Really quick sidetrack. Ma'am, why in the world am I out of wire? I can't believe it. Ma'am, go. What did you give me? Oh. I think I want that one, right? Standard recipe is 2 into 3, 3 into 2, 2 into whatever, crystal radios. I don't know. Crystal motors are... eventually we'll unlock all of these. That sucks. I was hoping for something a little better than that. Well, I guess we'll take that one for now, unfortunately. I'm going to do a lot of running around looking for hard drives in between episodes, or at least maybe here very shortly. We're going to attempt to try to get something running, or at least kind of hand feed something for a little while. We do have silica right there on that train, which we could send down to that. What I may end up doing is just setting up a very down and dirty system right here, because we're going to need a couple of things. But anyhow, let's take a look at the other thing that we need to worry about before I get completely sidetracked. The main thing we want right now is going to be made in an assembler, and those are alclad aluminum sheets. And that is going to be made with aluminum and copper ingots. These are going to be the things that are going to allow us to build the Mark V belts and all the Mark V fun stuff. Plus, this is the thing we're going to need to be able to do other things like heat sinks and some other stuff. Now, well, actually, I think I can probably do it right here, right? Heat sinks should be made in here. Or am I lost? Let me delete this guy. We need a constructor. Constructor's going to make the other thing for us, which is going to be the aluminum casing. And again, this is another one of those points where, if I remember correctly, there is an alternate recipe for aluminum casing that is considerably better. These go into batteries. These go into all of our radio control units. These go into a lot of different things. We're going to need to make this stuff as the way that we work our way down the road. So I don't think there was anything else this could make, correct? Yeah. All right, cool. So we can delete that. I don't know if I can build one of those. No. Do we have one of these? I know there's another thing we can make, and I think it's the heat sinks. Heat sinks, no. Heat sinks should be made in assemblers. I thought. Let me look at that again. I thought heat sinks were made in here with copper and aluminum. Do I not have them unlocked yet? Well, if I have them unlocked, they should show up. No, I don't have them unlocked. Why we no have them unlocked? Where's the next thing? Aeronautical engineering, no. I could have swore that in order to be able to make a radio control unit, which we need right there. Do we even have heat sinks anymore? Wherever. I don't know. I'm getting lost, getting sidetracked. Okay, so what we want to do then, I think, is we're going to go ahead, since we have some of the excess stuff going on right now, and I should have enough time to do it. I want to throw down a single little dude right here of how we're going to set this up, and then I'm going to pull in some aluminum from over there so we can start making the all-clad aluminum sheets, and then we're going to go from there. So I'm going to gather up a bunch of material. And I guess what I'll probably do is belt that down to the other side. But let me get some work done, and I'll come back with you guys in a little bit. Just for a later thingy for those of you guys that are looking for this one. There's also a hard drive up here, and I need to bring some stuff with me. But that's base, and this is going to be the aluminum node. There's actually another couple more, like right over here. This spooky forest up on top is full of aluminum, but we'll maybe tap into that later on. Again, all we want to do right now is want to make a little bit of stuff. This is a pure node, which means we can overclock it twice and max out a 480 belt. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to max out a 480 belt. I am going to, for right now, I think, run this around the corner, down across that bridge, and then just dump it into the train station that's over there, because that's going to be faster than running a whole lot more train line and setting up another train for it, considering we already have a train over here that has a car that's not doing anything. This is just for our own personal use and just so that we can get a few things done. So just figured I'd show that, and I will see you all in a little bit. Oh, I know, that's an ugly line of belt, but it goes from all the way up on top of that mountain, drops down the side, runs across the little bridge that's right there, comes overneath, joins up with the railroad tracks. I may come back and actually fix that and make it kind of follow it, and then into this container right here where we're going to slowly accumulate some bauxite. So this train will bring us all of these other supplies as well as the bauxite. Again, this is just for our own personal use, so we don't have to be exactly perfect with it. So I'm going to run back over to base now, and we're going to have to bring some water up into base, as well as, well, I think we already have the coal over there. We're just going to have to kind of figure out how to get it up. So I'll see you guys back over there in just a little bit. As always, it seems like a project takes a lot longer to do in real life than it actually does in your head when you're kind of messing around, but I think we actually have it to where we need to go. So where we last left off, I was busy putting that miner up there and driving down a little bit of bauxite over to that little train station over there. And as we can see right now, this train has been, or is delivering 4 cars. So the last car over there on the end is going to be the bauxite that we're going to use to do a little bit of aluminum production in the base. So let me jump up here so we can kind of look at it, and hopefully this is not too terribly loud or too terribly crazy, but this shouldn't take too much. Hopefully everything will work first try. I did go ahead and plumb it in for a full 480 belt because that's what that thing can make, or at least built it. But I also kind of did a couple of other things too, which is why it took a little bit longer than I wanted. We were going to need copper, and since we finally got all this nice, wonderful power that we have, I went ahead in and built another 40 refineries to do the pure copper recipe for the rest of the copper back here. So we're doing as much as we currently can. Hello, that was interesting. As much as we currently can with all of this stuff now for as far as the 3 copper nodes that are back here. So we still have like, I don't know, 1,200 copper over here that if we need it, we've got it to do other things. So anyhow, onwards, forwards, let's do the whole thing and we can turn it on and light it up and see that it works. So we're bringing the bauxite in and it's getting plumbed into these 4 refineries. Now, 480, you know, that's simple, easy math, but it's also going to require a decent amount of water. Now, this is the part where this gets a little goofy because of the fact that we're not going to be using any alternates right now. First off, this recipe, I'm pretty certain, is changeable later on, as once we get an alternate recipe, we're going to be getting rid of the fact that there's no silica coming out of here, and I think it even uses less water, or it does something, and something in this one changes. So we've got 4 of them ready to go. They're going to need about 720 water, of which we're going to get 240 back. So I did the math again down here with a valve. Hello, where are we? Oh, no. Come on, back up on the edge. I need to finish this base. I really need to finish making it pretty. But anyhow, so we have a, what is it, a 480. I brought 480 water up from over there, and as we can see, I got a nice new thing going on once again. So there's a bunch of water coming in that's going to come down to the end of the line over here and fill up the first 2 completely, and then overflow about 120 into this one. So that when these 2 start making their 240 water, it'll come back here and fill this one and this one. So basically what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to kind of do this recycling thing for a little bit until this system fills up. Now, there's going to be a problem right off the bat. Yeah, them stupid trucks. I'm going to have to go fix those things again. Right off the bat, we're going to have a problem. And that problem is I'm building the rest of this system out here for the max amount that we're going to get out of these 2 refineries. These 2 refineries are going to make, 360 aluminum scrap per minute. We don't have belts that can do more than 480. However, a Mark V belt can do 2 of one of these 2. So the first thing we're going to do after we research a couple of things, basically it's going to run a little inefficient for a little while because we're going to be trying to cram 320 on a 480 belt. So as soon as we get a whole bunch of that alclad aluminum sheet, we're going to go ahead and research the next couple of things. So logistics and the hover pack, because I like this thing. It's fun, but it sucks because you can't really do easy building. It's so much easier to build from above, looking down at things, than it is to try to look at things sideways. But anyhow, onwards, forwards, let's see what we're doing. So the results of this one, I should say, the results are the leftovers. The silica coming out of these refineries is going to come up and around and jump into this merger that's going to go down that way. Now, I'm pretty certain over at our silica place, our silica deal, we're not making a full 480 belt. I'm pretty sure I'm not making a full 480 belt. If anything, I think it's probably going to be a little less. We need 400 coming off of this line to take care of the rest of the silica that we're going to need for all of these foundries that are going to be making the aluminum ingots. So they're going to take that aluminum scrap, and it takes 8 of them. They're going to turn that into aluminum ingots. Aluminum ingots are then going to go up and over into all of these assemblers, and as we can see right there, there's a conveyor lift going through the floor that is connected to this one right here, I think, and it comes around the corner, goes that direction, and goes up through the floor, and that is going to take care of our copper. Now, 16 assemblers are going to be what we can do maxed out to make aluminum alclad sheets, or alclad aluminum sheets. That means we're going to have a full 480 belt, of alclad aluminum sheets coming into the system. We're going to go ahead and fill up some containers inside the main base, and then we're going to start cramming some of this stuff into the awesome sink, because this is going to be goodies we'll be able to use. On the end of this, what we're going to do, and then this may be a thing that I'm going to go ahead and eventually replace This with a smart splitter is that, well, not this one, this one right here, is that what I'm going to do is once we get done building all of those alclad aluminum sheets, I'm going to send the ingots into 5 or 6, what is it, 6.3 or 5.3 constructors that are going to be making the aluminum casing. And again, this one has a better recipe for later on. There's something else we can do for this one as well. So I think the only part is you can't mess with this one. This one doesn't change, so that's going to be forever and ever that way. So once those machines all fill up, then it'll drop down into this one, and again should make about a 480 belt of those casings. Now those casings, we're going to need them for stuff later on. Well, for one, we need them to be able to make the blender for one, and I believe that radio control unit, hang on a second, radio control unit is, yeah, and we need him for that too as well. So some of the magic that we're currently building up here is going to get recycled and built in a, maybe right over here, or what we'll probably do is I'll probably turn some of this around, backfeed it into this little corner right over here possibly, or over there, maybe where we were already building computers, and we'll be building radio control units over there. So that means we're probably, one of the next things I'm going to go ahead and automate is these guys, because radio control units are going to be necessary for a lot of the stuff that we build later on, and they're really good actually for your awesome sake. So there's a pretty good amount of stuff that you can get out of those radio control units. There's some other things that we're going to build, but I think for right now what I want to go do is I want to turn this on, and I want to see some alclad aluminum sheets because I want those Mark V belts. So all I should have to do technically, because the water should be buffered, the silica should be buffered, everything should be buffered except for the stuff that's going to come out of all of this and out of this and out of that. So let's see, where is the power? You get hooked to there. There they go. Bloop. That'll fill that pipe up, and there goes some of the first bit of silica. Those are running. They're going to backfill and put in all the coal that they need, so we should start seeing some stuff show up here pretty soon. There it is, aluminum scrap. Cool, aluminum ingots. Boop, out the door, up they go. We're filling in the copper into the assemblers. Those should split nicely between everybody, and like I said, I may hold that one down here for an overflow. I may do that as we go, but we should start seeing these things buffer up and go. Once they fill up, we should be good. Again, we're going to be slow back here because we don't have the full throughput belts that we need to be able to do the things, so this should just slowly backfill and go. Hopefully I have enough capability on the silicon. We'll find out. Looks good to me. Are we making things? Yes, we do. I just saw it take off. Might even be making a few of these by now, depending on whether or not the stuff's getting all the way to the end of the belt. There they go by. Nice. Cool. So this is running back down to the storage room as we do normally, as it's been a long time since we've had to do anything, but they drop down the wall and go into the main hallway chamber thing down here that takes all of our goodies back over here. So we need, what is it, 200 I think of those things, so those should be coming in down here. I didn't know which one they were going to go into, so I haven't marked it. So there is our sheets and the heat sink. So cool. Let's see, this is going to be not heat sink, no, not that. I need this, and that is going to be that. Select and save, and this is going to be sheets, select image, and save. Awesome. Cool. So we just have to wait for that to buffer up pretty quickly. Like I say, we're making about well, it'll be like 300 a minute, so this won't take too terribly long. So I'm going to give that a couple of seconds real fast, and then we're going to go I'm gonna let this, like I said, basically we're gonna let it buffer up real quick and go unlock a couple of things. So one more little stop and then we'll be done for the day. Alrighty then, let me see, I'm running away from the thing. We need some more of the sheets. These things. Plates, thank you. 100 more, there we go. Let's go knock out at least, oh yeah, I forgot I did all this. I'm gonna have to fix this later on, that's fine. So much fun laying belts in spots where it's kind of hard to get to, but let's do the first unlock past what we did before, which is going to be this, and this. Yes, please. I thought we brought enough stuff. It was 300. Hang on one second. Okay. Yes, please. Give us the big button, and let's turn on the last chunk of logistics.
Milestone reached. Improved conveyor belts and lifts can now be constructed.
Is that all you tell me? Mark 5 conveyor belts. Let's go over here and fix our little throughput problem very, 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 very quickly. So they're going to be, we have a throughput issue right there. And I know it's loud over here, so all I gotta do is this and that. And where is it? That. Come on, you can get it. And I mean, I think probably about to there be fine, but I'll go ahead and replace them all. There we go, we're getting some more of them running now. Get her kicked up. That's what I want to see. Now I have this here just in case we have an overflow of the made stuff off of those, because math tends to not want to work right sometimes in this game. But theoretically it should almost always prefer. This is one of those I wish I had a smart merger, or at least a priority merger. There are none as far as I know. They're all splitters and they're a pain, and I don't care, I'm not picking you up. We should be good to go for a while. I'm gonna let it run. I think we're good to go for a while. We're gonna be able to actually use all of this good stuff, and we should be able to actually build some cool stuff with all of these wonderful things. So for now, I will see you all later, because I think in the very next future, we're going to unlock the hover pack. We're going to unlock a bunch of stuff. I'm going to run it all, and we'll probably blow through everything that's left, or almost everything that's left, very shortly in Tier 7. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.